Okay, everybody on the bus.
Oh, we're on the bus.
Get
It's
away.
warmer than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
We
well,
live in Jerusalem right now. We live in Tel Aviv right now, the hotel. And
Yeah.
we are.
Breakfast was good.
I don't know, can we start? We don't have the bus driver here. Yeah. So I'll officially welcome everyone to our February-March 2021 Israel trip. I presume no one's got jet lag, and so there are benefits to everything. But anyway, glad to see you all. Good morning, Phyllis. Happy to have you with us. Please.
Happy to be here.
Hi,
Great.
I'm
Phil.
delighted you're here.
Phyllis.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're starting out our day well. I hope it will be a good day
bet.
for you.
You bet.
Great. Okay, so today the next 2 days we're just going to do the returning. As you saw, it's a little bit of a change from what we had said before, and it's just because of logistics and giving the other group some more time to prepare. So we split these over these 2 days, and look carefully at the prior email, because the March dates, we expanded the hours a little bit, starting a little earlier, so that we could also just have enough time for everything. Okay, so shall we just move along? We're going to do just 2 presentations today. The first is the cannabis. You're gonna screen share with something with that,
Yeah.
Odelia, or we're just gonna
Yeah,
have you
I'm
present?
just gonna say like 2 minutes about the website and how they can use it. And then we're gonna move to Yerucham because they're already with us, to the medical cannabis, which is the first project. And the second one for today is going to be the Eshkol Artist Hub. Okay, so just before we're gonna start, I just wanna show you the website. I already sent you the link yesterday. So this is the special website for this virtual meeting in Israel, and you have here the schedule, and here you can click here the presentations, and you can find all the presentations that you are going to hear today and tomorrow. And at the beginning of March, you will have all the presentation that you are going to hear in March. So even after we will finish the presentation of Yerucham Medical Cannabis and Hagilda, if someone wants again to see the PowerPoint of their presentation, something you missed, something you want to go back to, you just have to click here, and then you will get the full presentation that now they are going to share with us, okay? And of course, you can press this button, and you can switch between the pages and see it all. So that's about the website, and here you have some gifts, which is short movies, and we will share a little bit from that at the next at our next board meeting with the project in March. But you can scroll, you can have a small trip inside this website, and I hope it will help you with the projects. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop share the screen for a minute, and we have with us Tal Ochanan, the mayor of Yerucham. Hi, Tal.
Okay, Tov.
Hey, Odelia.
Okay, so hello.
Oh,
Good morning.
Okay, so we're waiting for Tal's team because I told them to wait a minute. In the meanwhile, I'm going to share Yerucham presentation, and we will give them the stage to speak with you guys. So just a minute. You all see the presentation of Yerucham?
It hasn't opened yet.
open.
Okay, just a second.
Come on. You should run away.
Here it is. You can see now?
Yes.
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 Okay. So welcome, Tal, the mayor of Yerucham. You can start with a few words, and then you can move on to the presentation. The stage is yours.
Okay, so thank you so much, Odelia. Very exciting to be with you today. I want to say thank you because at the last year, We have been supported for the medical cannabis incubator, also in tourism, and the tribe women training course that we started a few months ago. So for all of this, I want to say thank you. We have met more than 1 year ago, and many things changed at this year. And I decided to bring the leaders of the change to speak with you directly. I must say that as I mentioned before, when we met, we had a vision. We had a vision, and nowadays we can describe more and more things that happen in the reality. So we will start with our full ecosystem. Odelia, את מעבירה?
כן.
Okay, so we will start describing our full ecosystem just to see the big picture and not only the medical cannabis that we will be focused in a few minutes. So you can see that we have drones and we have the issue of biotech and pharma. We are working hard to bring here the first vaccine factory in Israel to be located in Yerucham, partner with the Perigo pharmaceutical company, American company. So we have the EdTech. We have met last year, and we are trying to do things with drones and shuttles, and all the year we are thinking what are the national infrastructure that the Israel state is lacking, and to think how we can bring value to this vacuum, working with defense industry, and not only. And I must say personally that the biggest, the highest successful experience I have at my second year as a mayor is the partnership with the business sector. That we find more and more things to do together, and I'm very grateful for that. נמשיך, אודליה?
אודליה, את נותנת
this
לנו
map,
רגע
I think-
להציג?
רגע, אני מנסה לעשות את זה, אבל תמשיכו בינתיים, עדי, בסדר?
לא, תעשי פשוט
אוקיי.
שאני יכולה לשתף. תרדי את.
Just a second, we're going to give them the option to share the screen. Rini, can you give them the option to share the screen?
It should
עדי,
be-
תנסי. עדי, את מנסה לעשות share?
כן, כן, כן.
Okay.
Okay, so we will go back to the map. Okay, השנייה, עדי. Okay, so I want to speak about the ecosystem map. I think we already saw it last year, but I want to speak again about it. We are speaking about two factories of medical cannabis that got the Ministry of Economic approval. We are very excited for that. And I hope that in 3 years, I hope less, but I think that 3 years is the correct estimate. We will have two factories that are working to produce medical cannabis production. We have the Green Academy, which is a college. You will hear from Boaz in a few minutes more about this training center. We have the agriculture. We are going to market in 1 month 100 out of 860 dunams for agriculture, for greenhouse. We will hear from Dr. Amit about the scientific R&D, and of course about the technological incubator from Israel, which is the CEO of this amazing opportunity. So this is the map, this is the vision. We will move forward. Adi? So first, we want to speak about the technological incubator. I have the honor to introduce you Israel, which is the CEO of the incubator to speak about what happened until now and how do we see the future. Israel, thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. My
Hello.
name is Israel. Hal already mentioned Israel Birnbaum, and I'm the CEO of Kanegev. And really, this is a really great opportunity. I think we are the pioneer with regard to the ecosystem with the establishment of the incubator in Yerucham. So what is the incubator? Please move to the next slide. What we are doing here. Odelia?
Again?
Okay.
No,
Next
Zulani is
slide,
Adi.
please. Thank you.
Adi.
Adi,
Yeah,
oh,
אנחנו.
okay. Okay, so we are a technological incubator in Yerucham, and we are the home for entrepreneurs and startups, and I will elaborate on that in a few seconds, for medical cannabis. So medical cannabis is our ticket. This is the field that we are dealing with. Later on, maybe we will enlarge it to healthcare, but currently, mainly medical cannabis, and it is part of the ecosystem that Tal mentioned. Next slide, please. Adi, thanks. So our vision is to be the center of knowledge and research and development of technological innovations with the field, in the field of medical cannabis in Yerucham. So the main idea is to make Yerucham a center of innovation. And you know, in a personal note, Israel is a startup nation, and as kind of such, the knowledge, the innovation, the technological is our, you know, the main let's say, advantage, competitive advantage. And if you would like to leverage it, this is the place to do it. And with incubator, with technological incubator, we can leverage this competitive advantage of Israel. So how do we plan to fulfill that vision to be the center of the medical cannabis innovations? Next slide, please, Adi. So we have two programs that we build up in the incubator, the startup program and the entrepreneurship program. The startup program is a program for companies that has already found their proof of concept for something in the medical cannabis field, of course, and we are getting them into the incubator, helping them in R&D, and I will elaborate what we are doing and how we help them. And the other one is for the entrepreneurship program, which are some innovations or researchers that they haven't got yet the proof of concept, or they don't know how to build up some business from that. And we are helping them by embracing them into the Kanegev, into the incubator, building them as researchers and growing up to be a company. Next slide. I will elaborate on those two programs. So regarding the startup program, we are helping those companies financially wise with 1.25 billion shekels for the first year. We can help them for the second year, but this is a new submission. But in any way, this is not the only thing that we are helping them. The mentoring and the guidance is not less important than the finance. So we are an experts in medical field and cannabis field, so we can help them, guide them, mentor them, and give them some help with operations, working with the Israeli Innovation Authority, etc. So this is for the companies that has some proof of concept. And now with regard to the second program, next slide, please, and the entrepreneurship program, we are helping those guys by embracing them and giving them some living package, which give them the opportunity first to be in Yerucham and some rental support, which we will discuss later. And also we give them some mentoring and guidance with best researchers that we bring in. We have the full support of the Israeli Innovation Authority that gives us the money to do so. We are helping them to grow up and be a company later on, get into the startup program. So those two programs are kind of has some bi-directional support in which the entrepreneurship program will grow up to be a companies, and then they can get into the startup program. And also the startup program can benefit from the entrepreneurs because they have some open mind, they are young, they have some ideas, out of the box thinking, so they can kind of help one each other with those two programs. Next slide, please. On top of these two programs, we are giving much more benefits. One of the things that we realize that we have to have in this kind of a center, if you would like to be a center for medical cannabis, is the laboratories to those researchers, to those companies that they can research and develop things inside Yerucham. So we could have had used some other laboratories outside Yerucham, but this is not the point, because then we are missing our vision to make Yerucham the center. So we have to give them all the opportunities to research and develop companies or ideas inside Yerucham. So currently, as we speak, we are building up the medical cannabis laboratories with the kind help of TAL and two funds that will be mentioned later on. But this is not the only thing that we are giving there. We are also have an in-kind services and 3 partners that build up this incubator. I'm speaking about BOL Pharma, which is the largest medical cannabis company. They are growing and harvesting cannabis, as well as marketing and selling that. They have the whole value chain, and of course, this is essential for the companies that come in and would like to research in medical cannabis. We have also Perigo, which is, of course, a leading healthcare company, but they have a very big production and R&D center in Yerucham, which is very important for those companies. Some of them are also dealing with topical creams or something like that, and this is very fruitful for them. And last but not least is Our Crowd. Our Crowd is a fundraising company which is very known and helpful in Israel, but we know that all those startups will need later on money in order to stay in Yerucham. And if we would like to have this vision come true, and we would like to have some businesses inside Yerucham, we need to have somebody that will help us to make more money later on in year 2, 3, and so on. And speaking about what would be in the next years, let's go to the next slide, please, Adi. And I would like to share with you our dream that we would like to have in Yerucham. So we would like to grow innovative ideas with those researchers, all companies in the early stages, to be a mature company with fruits, meaning revenue, and roots in Yerucham. So they will stay in Yerucham. We will have a business for the long term in Yerucham. So this is our dream, to make Yerucham the center and have businesses stay in the long term in Yerucham. And in order to do so, and I'm coming to my last slide, is that we would like to give those researchers a package in order to attract them into Yerucham, meaning we would like to give them some rental support. We are planning to have 6 research projects coming up this year, and we are estimating each project in a 6 months time period. The idea is to get those researchers coming into our first program for the entrepreneurship. Then they will grow up to a company inside Yerucham, and then to grow a business in Yerucham. For instance, we have a company that is coming up into the incubator. They are doing a robot that can harvest the cannabis from the greenhouses, and they will have artificial intelligence, and they will have robots, etc. And the idea is to grow this idea, to have it as a company, and later on to have, beside the incubator, a company that will do the integration of those robots, will do the sales, will do the marketing throughout the world. And this, if I can sum it up the main reason why I'm here and why we would like to have this support in order to make this dream come true. So my last slide is just a request to have all of you help us to make this dream come true. Thank you.
Thank you, Israel. We are so happy that you are with us. I must say that you are one of the best professionals in Israel for greenhouse. You did a lot before and you will did a lot in the future. So thank you for choosing us to your next step. Thank you so much. I would like to introduce Mail, which is our leader for industry, a very special professional guy. And he will tell you about 3 opportunities that we are already got, as I mentioned before, the approval from the Ministry of Economic. Mail, please.
Hi, good evening, good morning for everyone. I'm a consultant to those entrepreneurs that we are locating all over Israel and try to bring them to Yerucham to make their home, their factory home in Yerucham. One of the things that we are dealing with is also the medical cannabis industry. In the last couple of months, we started the formal and finished the formal procedure for 3 companies, which hopefully in the next coming months will start building them factories in Yerucham. Those factories, one of them is owned by a big group called the Citrine Group, which is dealing with cannabis in many other places in the world. And the other one are newcomers to this industry. Both of them, the 2 which are going to build the factories and the one which are going to rent a place in Yerucham and build this factory, are going to all together to build a factories of about 24,000 square meters of machines and employees. All together, we are expecting more than 100 employees from Yerucham in these factories, engineers, technicians, and many other sectors of employees. For us, it's a big jump. It's a big success. We are looking in the near future, hopefully this year, to bring another 2 factories in under the cannabis industry. And we're doing it by locating all over the world, trying to locate those companies, offer them the benefits of Yerucham, and there are many, many benefits to come to Yerucham beside the industry land, which is the most lowest in Israel, and of course, employees, which a lot of them are professional, academic persons, engineers, and others. And we will be happy to have your support in also to offer companies in this sector to look into Yerucham and to look on the benefits that we have and to come to join us as the family of Yerucham. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. So the third speaker is Boaz, which will introduce us the Green Negev Academy. I must say that I'm very happy and proud for that initiative, especially because it's bring us every month 100 people to study in Yerucham. It's empower our tourism interest and not only the ecosystem of the medical cannabis. Boaz, please.
Thank you very much, Tal, for the warm introduction. So hello, everybody. I'm Boaz, and I will present the venture that I'm leading in Yerucham called the Green Negev Can Academy, or in its full name, the Negev Academic Center for Professionals Training in the Field of Medical Cannabis. So first, if you can move to the next slide, I will tell you briefly about myself. I am the director of the Medical Cannabis Treatment and Research Center at Sheba Hospital. Sheba is the largest hospital in Israel and was recently ranked as the 9th place among hospitals around the world. In addition, I'm one of the founders of Canalit, a company that specializes in consulting and content creation in the field of medical cannabis. As well, I'm active in academia as a pedagogical coordinator and leading lecturer in various professional training in the field of medical cannabis. And between 2014 to 2019, have served as a VP and the head of the Department of R&D, Quality and Vocational Training in Israeli Medical Cannabis Agency, which is the regulation, the regulator in Israel for medical cannabis. There I took a major part in designing the policy and regulation for the emerging medical cannabis industry, including writing the clinical methodology and quality procedures for the medical cannabis products. And the vision of the Green Negev Khan Academy is to become the academic and professional base located in Yerucham, of course, for training professionals that will create an array of graduates who will constitute quality human capital for the medical cannabis industry in Israel and around the world. Of course, we see a paramount importance for the integration of these the values of pioneering, Zionism, quality, and professionalism, and form and the integration of these values. And we will work for the development and promotion of Yerucham as a focus for the medical cannabis industry in Israel. Next slide, please. Our partners in realizing this vision are, of course, Yerucham, the local council of Yerucham, which hosts the courses and warmly helps to produce the best academic space for the training of the participants. Sapir Academic College, which give the academic envelope in the venture, and with whom my company collaborate in building the academic content for the various trainings. And last, the Israeli Medical Cannabis Agency, which is the government body that recognizes the curriculum for the purpose of training the participants for the various occupation in the field of medical cannabis. As part of the center, we aim to create 3 dedicated study and training tracks in each of which there will be various courses. First, science and medicine track, second, quality chain track, and third, research, entrepreneurship, and innovation track. In this framework, we strive to give each student the broad and multidisciplinary vision of the medical cannabis industry from the fields of agriculture, nature, science, technology, medicine, and more, which interface and integrate together into a unique and innovative world of knowledge. Despite the challenging period resulting from the COVID-19, we started in 2020 with great vigor in building the venture with a course for pharmacists, in which we have already trained about 180 pharmacists to issue medical cannabis products and guide patients. And in the next slide, you see we also already set the goals for 2021 to hold 6 more cycles of the course for pharmacists and open at least 3 more training courses in the area of security, agricultural quality, and training nurses for medical follow-up for medical cannabis patients. We aim
Boaz, I
to
just want to say that we have, Boaz,
yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Boaz.
we have
Just
about
few
4 minutes before the questions, so you need to
Yes,
move on.
just 2 words about the agriculture, and we will go forward to the budget. Mitch, you have 1 minute. Please do your best. Thank you so much for coming. Mitch, are you with us?
Yes, I am. How is everybody? First of all, Kaya Shalva is a subsidiary company of Kaya Brands International and Kaya Holdings, which is an 8-year-old company operating out of Oregon with stores in Portland, with grow outside of Portland and in Portland, licensed to have food and all different products that are allowed under the law of Portland, Oregon. being that the founder, Craig Frank, and the CEO all lived in Israel, followed the developments of allowing to grow medical cannabis for export. We decided over a year ago to approach this issue here and create a company, Kaya Shalva, which we are thrilled and attracted by the firebrand in Yerucham, and especially Mayor Tal Ochana and her whole great staff who have assisted us in moving forward to make this happen. We love the concept of Green Negev and the ecosystem concept that Yerucham offers. This project is consistent with the Israeli historical economic transformation policies, like when Israel moved from agriculture into industry in the mid-60s and then high-tech hub in the 90s. This will bring Israel into the leading global operations and allow cannabis sector in Yerucham to be positioned as one of those leaders. Also, it will be the center of Israel. And this is the story of Yerucham and the Negev's economic miracle. We plan to open up a grow of 100 dunams in Yerucham with which is 25 acres and 8,000 square meters, 80,000 square feet of a factory to develop all different products that will be allowed at the time. We have a product called Sea of Green, which will grow each greenhouse of 3,500 meters, approximately 9,360 plants in 4 seasons of grow, with an annual harvest of approximately 169,825 kilos of medical marijuana for processing. We really believe that this is a great opportunity for Yerucham. For us, we intend to bring 400 to 600 positions of employment to Yerucham and the surrounding area. And being that the climate of Yerucham and everything that's there is perfect for our grow, we are thrilled to be taking part in this grow in Yerucham. And we look for our success and the whole concept of Green Negev success, because we'll all work together to make Israel a better and stronger place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. You're amazing. Thank you. Amit, one word, please. One word of Amit, one sentence about our R&D unit we are promoting. Dr. Amit, please.
Good. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. So just one sentence about myself. I'm living in Yerucham for about 25 years. I studied in Yeshivat Esder in Yerucham for about 10 years, and then I shifted to the academy doing my master's degree and PhD degree in Ben Gurion University. I moved to US and I work on computational biology and genetics in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, and Cornell University. And nowadays, I am working as a postdoctoral researcher in the Weizmann Institute, and also as data scientist in the biotech startup company, Centec Medical. 2 sentences about the scientific R&D. So I think that the goal of the R&D is to be in kind of a bridge between the academy and the basic science research and in the pharma and the startup companies. Can you move one slide, please? And as I think that my vision about that R&D, that it's kind of a bidirectional motivation. So for in one hand, the motivation of the R&D is to have more research and have more freedom about the research, and R&D are able to build a huge impact on building and generating a new resources and a new database about genetics, biochemistry, neuroscience, and different fields related to the cannabis. research, and that could be the motivation for further to be developed into some startups and in the pharma industry. And in the other hand, the R&D could be kind of address several questions and issues that coming from the startup companies and the pharma. I know, so as I work now in a startup company, and I know that we are in the startup, you are very focused on your product and you are very narrow in your research abilities, but there are a lot of questions and issues that your process of developing your startup open, and our R&D could be solve and collaborate with those startups company and help them to address a lot of questions and issues that coming from their process.
Thank you, Amit. You're amazing. I wish and pray we will succeed opening this R&D this year with a new government, Be'ezrat Hashem. So I want to speak about the budget. You can see all our partners, but let's speak about the budget. As you see here, we have the budget of the incubator, the Innovation Authority, ICA, Mirage, and of course, Ness grant that we already got. And we have also, you can see about the expenses, the rental payment and the coordinator. And also we want to make more meetup and other Knasim. Anyway, you can see that we are planning to finish the first budget very soon, and we are asking now to get another grant in order to have the second term of the incubator in between 2021 and 2022. This is what we are willing to do with the next grant. So yes, we have met in Yerucham. I spoke about my vision. Now you see that it's become a reality. We are very proud of this success, but we want to do more. And I must say honestly that the success must be position, how we create more and more position in the long term in Yerucham. So this is what we are willing to do. So we are here to ask for another grant to keep the incubator program and to have a second group, second term also at the next year. This is what we are asking.
We want to have time for questions. We want to have some time for questions because we already have the next project. So let's have like 30 seconds for you to finish, and then some questions from the board members, please.
Sure. Just to say that as you asked, Cordelia, we are willing to have incomes from local taxes from the industry and the other companies, also the agriculture. This is how we are willing to have more budget to invest in the incubator in the next years. But yes, for the meanwhile, we need your support. This is what we ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tal, and the rest of the team. Thank you very much. So let's take a few questions.
I have one. With respect to the training center, is there any certification given after a person like the pharmacist has been trained in using cannabis, and are there any standards for that certification, and is it recognized by any government authority or ministry?
Boaz, can you give an answer? Boaz is here?
No.
Okay.
Boaz is here.
So I will give you the answer. So yes, in Israel, the regulation is very tight. The meaning of that if you have no training, the formal training, you cannot do anything with medical cannabis. The Ministry of Health is very insisted about that issue because you know what is the dangerous and where are the dangers are. So you must have a professional training, a formal one. And we understood that opportunity. And that's why we opened the academic in Yerucham, partner with the Ministry of Health.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Ken, I have a question. I'm sure you were asked this last year when you began. You have an ambitious plan for engineers and a lot of people coming in for the various projects. Given the relatively small size of the town, are you attracting, or how are you going to attract the necessary high quality personnel to work in these new initiatives?
So the good news are that we have already 150 engineers and 150 techniques that are living in the town. How do I know that? Because we understood that we are working hard for many opportunities, the vaccine factory, the drones, and also the medical cannabis. And we want to make sure that we have the professional we need. And we did that scanning, that mapping, and we have that result. But I must say that we see that more and more middle-class families are coming to settle in Yerucham because of job opportunities, because of quality job opportunities. So we have our own human capital. We are very proud of it. But also we know that when we have opportunities, Zionist national family, most of them are coming to settle in Yerucham because of those opportunities.
Amit want to talk.
Yes, and I can say something from my personal view. So, is going on the academy in Israel and see that many of my friends and colleagues move to a postdoctoral training in the US and Europe in cutting edge labs. And for many of them, we don't have the opportunities for jobs inside Israel, and we are losing a lot of brilliant minds. And I think that if we are able to build kind of a high quality research and startup company, I think that it could be very, very impact on those guys that looks for those jobs, and even that if in the Negev they are willing to come and to do highly quality research.
I think Gordon had a question, right,
Yeah,
Gordon?
very quick question. Are there any other places in Israel that are doing anything similar to what you're doing in Yerucham with cannabis?
So there are small factories in Ashdod, in Ashkelon, in Or Akiva also, but none of those municipalities are having a full ecosystem with research, with agriculture, with academic training center, and of course with the industry. So I think we are our unique is to have all those things together and trying to collaborate between them, you know. So this was my vision 2 years ago, and every day we are building another stage because we meet people, we understand what are the situation in the world, and we're trying to give and to make all the efforts to create technology and researchers. This is the future of Israel as a startup nation. This is this is our value. I think, and of course, this is influence the industry.
If I may just add that the incubator is a one of a kind in Israel for sure, I think in all of the world. So incubator for technological medical cannabis is the only one that have in Israel for sure.
I would like to say that we think of the Negev as desert, but I think within the last 2 years, you've shown that you're really the Fertile Crescent
Mhm.
because the seeds that you planted 2 years ago have flourished in an amazing way. And you see us, what you've built. I could just ask if you could be more specific about the dollars that you're requesting from us, exactly what they'd be used for directly into the incubator. We were given information before about the community relations managers for more meetups. You mentioned a conference in April. Is that international, national? Just can you be specific about where the money requested from us?
Sure. So, yeah, sure. So we have the conference. The conference is partnered with the government. So it's a huge honor for us that the government choose us to make the international conference in Yerucham. It was in Tel Aviv 3 years ago, the first one, and they wish to do the second here. So we are working. We hope that the coronavirus and all this situation will pass away and it will be relevant. But this is what we are planning. So yes, we want, as I mentioned before, we have about $30,000 for the coordinator. We have $6,000 for the meetups. We have the accelerator course for the entrepreneur. It's what we are doing with a rental payment for the entrepreneur. As you saw, we already invest in the laboratory, as Israel mentioned before, but we raised money from Mirage Foundation and ICA, and I must say thank you to Odelia for helping us with that. Without Odelia, I'm not sure we could succeed with ICA and Mirage in this laboratory mission, that it was very important. So as you see, the expenses is like we did last year, coordinator, meets up action, and the rental payment for the entrepreneurs.
Okay, so we're really tight with times. I think we have one last question from Larry. Larry, you had a question?
Yeah, just really quickly. Are there any, you may have answered this question, but are there any actually regulations or regulatory issues that you have to deal with from either the product itself or from the country itself? Is there any regulatory kind of issues?
For the technology or for the industry?
Industry.
For the industry, sure. Yes, it's very tight regulation that the Ministry of Health is in charge of. But as a municipality, we are not dealing with it. Those are the entrepreneur issue. And now they just do the detailed planning for the factories, and they must get a license from the government in order to produce. It's very, very tight. As I mentioned before, the government do a lot of regulation in that field, and I think they should do.
Do you see any challenges? That's really my question. Do you see any challenges going forward because of it?
No, I don't see, because we have already in Israel about 4 factories that are working to produce oil and other products. So it's already happened. So it's not new. So I'm not worried about it.
Thank you.
It's just taking time. This is the only problem with this with those regulations. It just takes time. But at the end, you are succeeding.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As you can see, Tal is very committed, always with the green background.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, the people of Yerucham. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we already have Michal Uziel, which you're all familiar with. She's already.
Hello. It's not fair, Odelia, putting me after Tal Ohana and after such a breaking through project. Wow, I'm impressed.
Only because I knew you can do it. You can deal the challenge. So hi, Michal, and I'm sorry we keep you waiting. And you can share, you can start, Michal. I just want to remind everyone, she's from the Artist Hub in Eshkol. We visited there 2 years ago, so nothing, 1 year ago, so amazing things. And it's getting better and better every day, especially this time of the year when the red flowers are there and the people of Israel want to see them. So they all come to the region of Eshkol, and now they can have the red flowers and the Artist Hub at the same package. So Michal, you can share your screen.
But before, I need to see some faces. We are in this time of
Okay, go ahead.
Of insanity in the civilization. So we need to see some faces. So I assume that all of you visited the Eshkol, right? Do we have anyone that is not familiar with the Eshkol that I should give a little bit of background, or we're all on the same page? Oh, okay, Bob. So I would just say that first of all, I'm still breathing after this amazing presentation of Yerucham, because talking about art after such a really transforming project that I just I saw just a few minutes of this presentation, I admit that it's even hard for me as someone who see myself as a leader in the Negev. And I think that the things that Tal Ohana brought to Yerucham are amazing, and I love her spirit and her leadership. Eshkol is one of the communities, a regional council along the border with Gaza. We call it the Gaza envelope, but many people call it the Israeli envelope because we're not just wrapping Gaza, we're wrapping Israel, and we are very proud people that despite all the challenges in the last 20 years that we are facing of what we call the constant emergency routine. Emergency routine means that in the last 20 years, you don't know what to expect any day. Just half an hour ago, there were like boom sounds, crazy boom sounds, and you move on and you continue, and you don't know what to expect any day. I'm happy to say that the last year we dealt mostly with the COVID-19 emergency, and not unless we had some security situation, but it was actually an interesting experience for us to experience a different kind of emergency. And just before I will start, I want to share with you a story that my dad used to tell me when I was a little kid. And he said, you know, there was a poor Indian guy that found a dollar on the floor, and with 50 cents he bought bread, and with 50 cents he bought a flour. And people asked him, you're such a poor Indian guy, why would you buy a flour? And he said, I'm buying the bread so I can live, but I want to buy the flour so I can live for something. And when we are talking about the art, and I will show you in a moment, the reason it's such an essential project in our community that we chose is that in all this emergency, we always say that despite all the challenges, the rocket, the tunnels, the explosions that we have still almost every day, even when you don't hear about it in the newspaper, not in Israel and not abroad, it's because we always say life on the border with Gaza is 99% heaven and 1% hell. And in order to overcome everything, we have to focus on the 99%. If we will focus on this 1%, it will become all-consuming. And focusing on the 99% gives you the strength that once this 1% bursts out and it looks like hell, we have enough resources and resiliency to overcome and to continue despite all the challenges, and to hug our children and to move on and to grow our community. And the reason we're proud people to say that our answer to terror is that we still have families that are moving to live in our Gaza envelope area, not only in Eshkol, in Sderot, you can see it in Sha'ar HaNegev, in other regions. And we continue to move on and not to give up and not to surrender to terror. So I will show you, I don't want to show you the slide with all the wording that you saw. I want to take you through some beautiful pictures that really show the story. You see this, Odelia? It's already on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So our story with the Gilda, the Artist Hub, started in 2018 when a group of young artists came to us and said, can you give us a deserted school and help us to make it into a home for the artists? Do you hear me? Odelia? Hello? Oh, I lost connection, I think. Odelia?
We can hear you. Keep going.
Okay. I thought that I lost you for a moment. Okay, good. And in 2019, you came to us and we shared with you a dream. And if you've been here, you know that you said, okay, hey, Ma?
She's having some connection problem.
So wait.
Go ahead. No, go.
Odelia has a connection. I'm
Yeah,
good.
no, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. So I will continue with the slide. And in 2019, you came to us and you heard just the dream and you made some changes in your schedule and you asked us to take you to this place. This building that you see, the entrance was full with bird poop, and it was deserted. It was a school that was not sheltered, and the government moved our children closer to the border with Gaza so they can shelter it. And this school that was 7.2 kilometers from Gaza wasn't sheltered. It was just deserted for 10 years, a neglected area, vandalism, as you can imagine. And it was just sad. It's a facility in the middle, in the heart of several of our communities, and it was just sad to see. But you believed in it, and once you gave us the seed money, and it's not only the financial support, it was just knowing that someone believes in this dream and we're not alone and fantasizing. This is something that can become a reality. In 2019, we had a huge jump we had a huge progress in this project, and the artists came. We suddenly realized that we have 70 visual artists in Eshkol that were pulling their sleeves together and saying, okay, we're working. And it was a community work of making these things happen. In September 2018, our school seniors came and painted the building. And later on, we invited the community to put some plants and to plant some plants over there, and just to make this place a home for the artist. I will show you some other projects, pictures. No, you know what? I will go with the timeline. In 2019, despite all the challenges, during 2019, we did some events, and it was just starting to realize how can we work. We hired Rivka, that is with us on the Zoom call, to be the community manager, to form the group together. We chose 12 visual artists that moved into the facility. They are sharing a couple of artists almost on each studio, and they started to create their own studio, but more than that, they started to create a connection, to touch the community with their art. And they did several events during the year. I have to say that I was constantly surprised by how much our community needed this art to inspire us, to touch us. Through art, suddenly we realized how much we can share our story, and not only share our story, even to write our story, to tell it to ourselves. And this is the power of art. In 2020, in March, we had the highest moment. We felt like it was, without knowing, we planted the goodbye party for the community just before moving into COVID-19 mode. And we had this amazing Adloyada. Adloyada is like the Purim festival, and the artists with the community, with the children and with the school classes and with elderly people in the community created huge art images, huge images that were driving through several miles route, and we had more than 2,000 residents of Eshkol came to this festival. It wasn't only, excuse me for I have to see faces. It wasn't only the art that we showed. It wasn't only the people who came. It was children that were behind each puppet, huge puppet. We had a group of children or local group of dancers that were with a different music, and they were walking behind the puppet. And again, 2,000 people came, and we had this amazing celebration of togetherness, of art and pride, local pride. And then COVID came to our life, and everything was immediately shut down. And we asked ourselves, as a head of the community center, my role in this emergency was, despite all challenges, to continue to create a sense of togetherness. How can we continue to feel that we are not alone under this such a loneliness conditions? You are locked out in your home, you cannot see people, you cannot hug people. How can you still do it? And thanks to your support also, we opened the gallery. The gallery was opened around Odelia, remind me, you came there.
During COVID, like
During
in
COVID.
April or like right after Purim, like 1 month, maybe less after Purim. And I came to the opening with my little daughter.
And she
And
kept
everyone
saying
there
to
was
me, I
with
can't
masks.
believe this was a bird poop facility. And right now it's a beautiful art gallery. And because of COVID, we could put only 50 people in each round. We had more than 3 rounds of people that assigned and came for this art gallery. But later on Fridays, every Friday, the gallery was open and people came step by step. They had to register. But for me, you know, event is one thing, but coming to a gallery opening, this is like more high-end. Excuse me if it's for you, it's day to day, but for me to see my community, how thirsty we were. I don't know if it's the right word, but it's free translation. We were thirsty for art, for inspiration. And the first gallery open was just local artists, bites of different artists. They even sold little postcards that each one made, and it was sold out. All the income came to the Gilda, and since this first opening of the gallery, we had 3 opening of the gallery, and each one was popular in a different way, each one under other restrictions of the COVID. I don't know if you saw the short movie, the visit through the Gilda that we did with one of them, so we can give you and the rest of the community who couldn't come to see what's in it. And it's just a huge success. So I want you to see some other things that we did despite the COVID, because our main force that push us to get to continue is to how we can continue to create a sense of togetherness. I think I shared it with you before. In emergency, it's something that unfortunately we are very we're professional in emergency. The first thing in emergency that anyone feel, and think about yourself after a car accident or losing a loved one, the first thing that you feel in emergency, you feel that you are alone. Think about yourself in COVID. Each one of us close up and think that no one, the world can't understand us. But if we remind ourselves that we are not alone, we are together, and we have a family to support us, we have a community to support us, it gives us so much strength. And our role is through art to continue to remind ourselves we are not alone. We have one another to move on and to continue. You see this?
Yes.
So I want to show you, give you some taste of what we did despite the corona and during this time. This is some of the invites to the opening of the gallery that we had. You can see the artist work. One of the things is that we always say we are not giving service. We are creating meaningful moments. We invite the artists, we invite the community to do themselves, to initiate, to be entrepreneurs and to do, because once you're doing, once you are active, you feel that you are meaningful, you feel that you are more resilient. You can see the openings in the gallery. You can see already it's during the mask time, people are with masks. We even have, you know, once you have the place, more and more opportunities come. We had someone from Tel Aviv that donated pictures from his own Osef from his own collection. Thank you. And he just wanted people from the Gaza envelope to come and enjoy his art. So people were invited to take some art. You can see me speaking, but if you see well, you can see Odelia and her daughter there in the back. It was the opening of the gallery, and you can see the big puppets from the Adloyada that we had a month before that. You can see even we invited people to meet with the artists, to talk about their art. You can see this is the second gallery, exhibition that was open, an amazing one. We always combine a young artist with the senior artist. So you can, this was, wow, you walked into the gallery and it was like multi-sense experience around you. She did it with the eucalyptus. It's an artist that worked with metal, with iron, and with eucalyptus shell.
We met her last year, Sarita. We met her last year.
With colorful hair. She's someone that you cannot forget. You can see also something that interesting that we created here. We said people cannot go and be with each other. So let's take the driving method and make it like a safari. In a safari, you drive through the safari and the animals comes to you. So we created this 4 kilometers route that people would drive with the car, and artists came to their car, and they saw also a couple of the Gilda artists creating this beautiful, this was the end result, but they saw them, how they are creating the art while they were driving through. It was a major success. Later on, many other municipalities now are doing in Purim the same safari driving events. We also invested in artists. We invited them to different seminars, enrichment program, because we want not only to bring them to the community, we want to invest in our artists and to encourage local creation. You can see even one of the things that we created in the Gilda is a Bet Midrash. Ilana, you recognize Ilana Bitton from Yerucham, the amazing Ilana Bitton. So she's leading us through the Bet Midrash. You can see also the artists continue to renovate. They are making it into a salon, so they hang pictures over there just to make it more and more home-like, the home for the artist. We even took events like the month of awareness for breast cancer, and through art, again, we bring it to the community, we raise the awareness. Aya is one of the artists of the Gilda. She recovered from breast cancer, and she was leading it too. This is another exhibit.
Michal, we want some time for questions and maybe for Rivka to say a few words and your budget.
I will end here, even just to say that even during COVID, the Minister of Culture and Art came to the Gilda and posted about it, and he was very impressed with how simple things are and how important it is. And just to end with the last example, we did an event for young mothers, and we called it Take Your Time. And through the evening, each woman that was there, she got a kit into her house with her name, and 3 of the Gilda artists took her through a workshop with a local singer also that sang in the background. And the feedback that we got from the women, you can see some of the results of the work, were very impressive. Again, how art touches people and how art creates resiliency. This is another initiative of children with books and creating art with old books. And I have many, many more examples. What we can say that we are very, very proud of the achievements, and I want you to be proud, because you were the first one to believe in us and to give us the opportunity. And we really feel that we transformed something very important in our community, and we touched many, many people, different groups through art. Just to say a few things before we go to the budget, the sustainability aspect of it is important. You saw that the Gilda was only part of many other buildings in this facility. And what you didn't see in your visit, that there was another school next to it, the elementary school that was evacuated only 2 years ago into a completely sheltered school. So this facility is also, again, it's an empty facility. And what we are doing today with the municipality is to create a business model that from incomes that we are getting from profitable, or not only profitable, but from some projects that can give us income, will help us to maintain the community programs that we are having in the facility. For instance, right now we are having a village of people with disabilities, with heavy disabilities, that are about to move, hopefully next year, to the elementary school that was evacuated. And only from the incomes that we will get from them, we will be able to manage, to handle also the Gilda in terms of maintenance. In terms of programs, we still need to work on it, but it's in a working progress. And I'm happy to say that we have a new mayor deputy, that this is his main goal, that for him, he understands the balance that we have to create between a business-oriented project that we will have and the community needs. One of the things that attracted, by the way, the village of people with disabilities was the Gilda, the artist hub, to know that they will have such a place close to them, and they can get some enrichment programs for our local artists, was one of the things that really convinced them to move to this facility. So in terms of sustainability, also to create a business model for the entire deserted school area. And the second is that this year, in September 2020, we were supposed to start with the after-school program, and also for older people. COVID-19 came in our way and didn't allow us to do it, but we are still aiming there, and we hope that we will create this business model that will give us income so we can invest more in art. In terms of what we are asking from you, I have to say that we are asking, you gave us last time $50,000. We would love to see if, first of all, we can maintain it, and if you can help us by supporting us by $80,000. We are still working with Mifal Hapais. I was surprised when I came to Mifal Hapais and we presented this request. They said, oh, it's the Gilda. One of them knew about the Gilda, and it was, again, I wasn't aware that someone from Mifal Hapais is aware of this project, and it was a good naches for a moment that we had there, that the success of this project has some wings and gets to important places and decision makers. In terms of what we need, so first of all, the most important thing that we need is to maintain the position of a community manager. I hope that that soon we will be able to say we can fund it ourselves, but still we feel that we are still in the incubator stage of it. And if you will ask me, and I know that you might ask me, if we won't give you this amount and less, what's the most important thing for me? The community manager is the most important resources that I can ask from you. Another thing is I will go from the priority is the events that your support allows us to dream bigger and to do things in a different way than what we were able if we didn't have your resources. We have some funding from the government on business consultants for the artists. It's something that we already started this year to teach them how to have their own income from their art. But we are still not there, and we still need some resources to support it. Of course, some of the equipment that we need, but we know that it's not your focus, but we will really greatly appreciate if you can. And some enrichment workshops that we would love to do through this year and to take it to another stage. So that's it for now.
Are we going to hear something from Rivka before we go moving on to questions? Rivka, would you like to say a few words?
I'm just joining what Michal said. I can share with you my day today. Just she said that she's asking for like today we had a visit of a group from the north. They came 5 hours drive because they heard that we could do such kind of project in such conditions in the end of the country, you know, on the border, and they wanted to learn how to do it, and they asked me how we managed to do it. So it was long conversation, but I think that the most I couldn't explain it, but just that there are people here that know what it means, and there is no other explanation. And then we opened the door, and I came in the last year. One of the things that happened, that many things started to happen around the Gilda, many projects and kids. We have a moadonit, like
for welfare, kids from welfare families.
Yes, so we have for kids and for youth, and we have for people who survived trauma from the army, and we just opened the door and they just came in and started to walk around, and the conversation was, I just told them it's just about people, and there is something really special that's going on here, and that's what I can add. And you're invited to ask questions. And
thank you, Rivka.
Welcome.
And B'Shea Tova for the upcoming new baby. So any questions for Rivka and Michal from the Artist Hub, who is very famous in Israel right now, as you can understand.
In some circles.
No questions.
Turn off your mute. Go on.
I have a question.
Yes, Ken.
Can you just go in? I know in the proposal it mentions the number of people that you reach, and I think it had might have been 16,000 or something. I know with attendance and everything else, it's a large universe. But can you just address a little further about the impact on the community and the number of people that maybe are really affected by this, not just necessarily attending an exhibition?
Rivka, do you want to answer this?
I don't know if I can say a number, but I can say that as someone, I'm not originally from the area. I came here 3 years ago, and I can say that the fact that there is a place like the Gilda here affects my ability to stay here and to live here, because people that needs this, like, I think that for all the community, it's something that was never happening before. It's something that is essential for people who, I don't, maybe Michal, maybe you will explain.
So I will try. You know, we have, if I'm trying to think about the different circles that people were touched. So first of all, the visual artists in Eshkol, we are talking about 70 visual artists that are active, that comes everyone for workshops, that get together and create together. They have a lot of things that to create together. They're saying, okay, I have this project, who is on? So we have this 70 visual artists. Around them, I can say that we have around 150 residents of Eshkol that find it like a place that they will come every once in a while, just like the groupies, you might call them, okay? But since we opened just during COVID also, we opened right in front of the Gilda, a youth center for youth at risk, So right now we have a group of teenagers that gets to the Gilda and work. We have a small workshop now that we are starting to operate. So they're working in the workshop and they're doing things for the rest of the community. They will make benches and tables and just we want to keep them active. And since we couldn't take them out of the house, we said, let's find them volunteerism work. So we invite them. So you can see a lot of teenagers around it too. And as Rivka said, just behind it, we have a facility for people that suffer from post-trauma from the army. It's another amuta that was created recently, and they are also engaged. So I can say, if you're asking not only visitors, but people that are influenced and senior citizens, that we have a senior citizens club, it's just the Gilda made the whole facility very active. And with ongoing programs, not only visitors, like the teenager center and the elderly people and the trauma victims of the army. And so I can say that I will be cautious and say we have around 400 people that are more like day to day, not day to day, but on a weekly or monthly basis are influenced. But our goal is through after school activities like workshop, like around the year, we would like to see more, but we started only during COVID, like September 2020, we were ready to open and we couldn't. So I believe that it will grow. I hope that I answered your question, Ken.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to ask, it's amazing, what you've created out of nothing, and I'm thrilled to see you speaking about sustainability with business models. So two things, are those businesses related to art and income from programs or from, let's say, restaurants or shops or something coming to the Gilda to be supportive? Number one, and number two, can you give us a time course? Hoping, of course, we'll get out of COVID, but could you say, well, we have this plan, and if it's successful, we could be sustainable fully in 1 year or 2 years or something like that? Is that possible?
So in terms of the village for people with heavy disabilities, this is something that is really in a progress, and I hope that September they might already move, and this will bring already income because they are like paying rent for each residence, and they have right now, I don't know, I don't remember the numbers, but I can say that we will have income soon. And the municipal authority, the mayor deputy is giving our חברה כלכלית, our, how do you say חברה כלכלית?
Economic company.
department. Yeah.
Department.
But it's not a municipal, it's like a private thing to bring income to the municipality. They will handle the entire real estate. Ma?
That's a way of the municipality to fund things or raising money for the municipality.
Exactly. So this institution is already taking over the real estate, of the entire real estate, and will start to develop. In terms of what are the other businesses, right now we have a restaurant nearby, and we have a gym, a place with, I can call it a gym. It's like different workshops and stuff, physical workshop. And we are having a meeting in a couple of weeks to start to describe what are we willing to accept and what will be something that will complete the artist and won't be something that will disturb, something that will create synergy and not the opposite of it. So we're still in a work in progress of defining what exactly is the spirit of the business that we would like to have. I can say that, for instance, we have a group of local community theater. They already requested to move into the second story of the building, and we would love it. And they even created their annual project was like a Del Arte theater that was supposed to be performed in the building with all, if you remember, the second story has this beautiful arches. So it was supposed to be there, but since we can't do it, we will video it and we will send it to the community. But still, you know, since you helped us to
And you
create
have a new Lego
how many
artist.
opportunities come? What, Odelia? I didn't hear you.
And you also have a new Lego artist.
That's true too. You know, just it's opportunities. We had an artist that passed away, very well-known artist, and he gave a donation. His entire workshop of printing moved into the gallery, one of the studios, and now we have 4 artists that comes there, and this is their workshop. So it's just, you help us to create to create a place and to say, Hineni, we're here, and now just opportunities comes, and it's just it's exciting, it's wonderful. To remind ourselves how art is so important, and during COVID, when the artists are the one that suffers the most, the fact, one of the artists came to me and said, I'm proud to be an artist in a municipality that that appreciate the power of it. And
Michal, one more question, and we have to finish. Gordon?
Can you produce something for and give to Odelia to share with us, showing what it looked like when we saw it the first time and what's going on inside as well as outside, so we can see it ourselves, since we can't be there?
And Gordon, you also have a short movie on my presentation, the
Okay,
first one that I shared with you. So you have like a
First
virtual
one I saw, but I'd like to see now more of the outside of what's going on in there.
Okay.
We planted a seed. I want to see what's growing around from the seed.
wonderful, we will. Thank you, great idea.
Leslie, you have question?
So with COVID, one of the things I loved when we visited you was having that wonderful little cafe around the corner, the Butterfly Cafe, and all the wonderful work that she's doing. How is that still? Is she still open? Has she been able to open?
Yeah, she's open, but she's open for delivery. So we are doing this, and you know, there is a just combination of initiatives. It's beautiful. There is a soldier from a nearby base that want to do an operation of donating hair for cancer, people who got cancer and needs hair, and for wigs. And so we connected her with an event that we supposed to have in 2 weeks, Rivka, in the Gilda, nachon, in a weekend. And a local barber will do the, you know, he will cut the hairs, and whoever donated their hair will get coffee and like a pastry from this coffee shop. And it's just again, going back to the beginning of doing things together, that you feel that we're all together in this one mission and goal, and it's wonderful. So toda rabah to all of you for believing in us.
Thank you.
And hope to host you again soon. We have so many things to show you, so we're looking forward.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And happy Purim.
Chag Sameach.
Purim
Chag
Sameach.
Purim Sameach.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
If everyone can stay on for a minute or two, Howard, do you want to make any closing, or Odelia, any closing comments?
Okay, so we heard 2 presentations. We hope to do it because they are returning project. We hope to manage to do it in 30 minutes. As we can see, it's not going to be 30 minutes. So I hope tomorrow I'll be more tight with the times, because tomorrow we have 3 projects from the returning project. Just want to mention that the 2 presentations that you just saw, and Michal do not like to use the presentation. She wanted to see your faces. So you missed a few of our slides with a lot of pictures. And so, as I said at the beginning, you can get into the website, you can click presentation and have the Yerucham presentation and this presentation and tomorrow's presentations if you want to see them in advance. So you can see them, and that's it. I think we will meet together tomorrow, same time, same place. But tomorrow we all are going to be at the same place. We are going to broadcast you from Safir College. We're all going to be there, and we will be at the same room right after one after each other. So I hope that will help us with times, and I will be there, and they will see my angry faces when they speak too much. So I hope that
Adelia, I have to tell you, I've been sitting here since 8:30. It's fascinating. And, you know, when you really know the projects, I can't believe an hour and a half just went by. So it's really fun.
That's great to hear. So tomorrow it will be 3 hours. Look what you did, Leslie.
No, you know what? I mean, it's a big obligation. It's a bit, you know, we have big decisions to make, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really good to hear the enthusiasm and the planning.
Time to get back on the bus and go back to Yerushalayim.
Ken, you had a question.
Someone mentioned when we started that we had gotten a revision to the schedule and we were going to be starting earlier in March. One of you mentioned it.
I did, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see, I went back through the emails. Somehow I missed that.
So you'll get, we wanted to share this now, as well as for some of you, I spoke to you on the phone, that we want to be able to start at 8 and go 8 to 10:15, which will allow
For
us
the March visits.
for the March
Okay.
visits
Fine.
going forward,
8 o'clock.
March 15th through 18th. We also added, as many of you noticed, we added the last day, the 18th, for the same reason. Again, this way, we're giving the new projects and the strategic projects 45 minutes each. With our time for, hopefully we can end it a minute or two before, but it looks like we're not.
Yeah,
But
that's
I think this was definitely time well used. Thank you all for being together with us.
So from 8 to 10:15 on those 3 days?
4 days
4 days.
now.
4 days.
In
It's
March.
Monday through Thursday in March, because we just physically had to squeeze in the time, and it's still less than we would normally give them in Israel. As you can see today, already it's a challenge. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I just want to ask, because I personally had problems opening the proposals of 2 of the projects from the website yesterday. I could open 3, but not 2. Did anyone else try, or did anyone else have an issue?
No, it was okay.
I was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had problems, but I'm having a lot of computer problems, so it could be on my end.
I can
Okay.
send the PDF of the upcoming 3 projects per day, if that would be helpful.
Yeah,
Just-
Yeah, that was another thing. I personally found it difficult to read through these things in this format. So Rini sent me the PDFs, and so we're gonna do that the day before. Because
Great.
for me, it's just easier to review, and like right now, I have it sitting, you know, on a separate computer,
Right.
so I could look at it. So please, we'd like the feedback, any other things that we can just, you know, we're trying to figure it out as we go and hoping it's successful. So far, I have to say, you know, obviously what Adelia's put together, everything, it's just amazing.
Great job.
Great job.
You know,
Presentation.
Great job. Yeah. good
Bus
presentation.
driver's doing a great job.
yeah, but give us feedback if, you know, because as we're going, if we could keep improving it so that it just stays nice and smooth. And it's great to be with all of you. And
Renee,
Yeah.
can you send out a revised Google invitation, because the invitation still says the original times on it?
I will do
Otherwise,
that, and I'll
coming
put
up.
all the Zoom links in it. And then again, the day before, I'll send out the PDFs and I'll send out a reminder with the Zoom link. So you'll have that information exactly the day before and ready for the next day.
Great.
Great.
Is there anything else we can send out in advance that would be helpful? I'd love to send out Hamantashen.
We missed the pastry today. That's
All right.
it's BYOH, bring your own Hamantashen. So,
BYOC as well.
Yes, most of
So,
us have coffee.
good,
Oh,
good.
well, Tel
Okay.
Aviv had a great
Alex?
breakfast this morning.
Hi, Samara and Phyllis, we're thrilled you're here.
We're very
That
happy.
is the best
Absolutely.
part
We
of
wish
the day.
everyone a good day and look forward to being with you tomorrow and trying to stay on schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Thank
will-
Doing fine.
Thank you all. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you,
Great.
everybody.
Okay.
Okay,
Have a
bye-bye.
good day. See you
You too.
soon.